So what do you do if you have hair loss? My name is Tabitha, certified trichologist, and these are some things that can be helpful if you are having abnormal hair shedding or if you are even having a slow progression of hair loss. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to keep our stress low, because when you're having hair loss, having that stress in the body releases that cortisol. Our hair actually has cortisol receptors, so it knows when you're stressed and it can constrict the blood flow to the hair follicle. So keeping that stress low, which is probably the hardest part of trying to help your hair loss, is keeping that stress low. Next, we really need to know what kind of hair loss you're having in order to know what would work best for that type of hair loss. Believe it or not, if you are having hair shedding or abnormal hair shedding and you go by Rogaine, it actually might be hindering it actually might make things worse if you are having a telogen effluvium or a rapid hair shedding problem. Reaching for Rogaine isn't the right solution. So going to a trichologist, some dermatologists, hair loss specialists, and finding out what type of hair loss you have is probably the best way to go before you start throwing things at it. The next thing that we want to do is a hair loss shampoo. Without a balanced scalp and a good pH balanced area and a thriving area for the hair to grow and be its healthiest is the scalp. So a hair loss shampoo is the way to go. Regular shampoos don't usually clean down into the hair follicle. They usually don't have pH balancing ingredients. And so a hair loss shampoo is going to help maintain those hairs in the growing stage. So a hair loss shampoo is great. And then you can add a topical. Leave-on topicals are great because they usually have antibacterial properties, anti-aging properties, pH balancing properties in them to keep that hair also in the growing phase, and a lot of really good stuff to keep the hair strong and healthy. So we're kind of feeding the hair from the outside, and then we want to feed the hair from the inside. Our hair is made of keratin. It's made of protein. If we're not getting adequate amounts of proteins and amino acids, which is what our hair is made of, then that creates a problem. If we're just eating fast foods and a whole bunch of processed foods and sugars, our hair is not going to thrive and be strong and healthy. So incorporating foods like eggs with yolks, which is a complete source of biotin, which makes keratin, even a handful of pumpkin seeds every day is great, walnuts, those kind of things, and getting that protein intake is super important to have healthy hair. We can also do things like adding a laser cap. I've seen amazing results with laser cap. I actually have another video on that if you want to check that out. Keep even like a silk pillowcase at night. We don't want to break the hair off if we're having hair loss. We definitely don't want to break the hair off or cause it any inflammation or anything on the scalp as well. So a silk pillowcase is great for helping not have any breakage. Keeping your styles loose, no really tight ponytails, really tight clips, braids, extensions of any kind. I do recommend staying away from extensions and things like that if you are having hair loss, and especially abnormal hair shedding. And then we want to keep the heat low and give our hair a break. So we want to make sure, and we learned this after COVID with here in Minnesota, we were unessential for 3 months, that people were coming back with really healthy hair. Everyone was staying inside. They weren't washing their hair as often. They weren't curling it every day, flat ironing it. And it really does make a difference to give your hair a break. So make sure if you're not doing anything on the weekends or a day during the week, just put in like a deep conditioner, leave it on all day, and give it a good drink of water, hydration, some proteins to keep it strong. And those are my recommendations. In the description below, I have a link to all my favorite products for fine hair and for thinning hair that you can check out in the description below. I'll see you on the next one.